Take your troop, born of ice and frost.
Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll bring you a short guide on how to maximize Ganyu's potential as an F2P. You don't need any 5-star weapons nor Ganyu's constellations. This guide is purely a C0 Ganyu with a 4-star weapon. First, let's talk about her weapon selections for an F2P. There are two insane 4-star bows that work really great on Ganyu. And as you might have guessed, it's Hamayumi and Prototype Crescent. Yes, it's a craftable weapon, and you can only craft it if you have the bow billet, the one item that God knows how long it takes for you to get a single billet. But anyway, you might be confused on which bow to actually craft, and the answer is, it depends. It depends on whether you want Ganyu in a freeze com or a melt com. It also depends on the artifact set that you're using on Ganyu, but we'll talk about it later. For Hamayumi, you're required to never use your elemental burst to activate its full passive, which doubles the damage bonus on normal and charge attacks. You need to maintain your energy at 100% at all times. Reverse Melt Ganyu utilizes this by triggering the melt reaction using her charge attack instead of the elemental burst, thus multiplying her charge damage by 1.5. Besides, you don't want your elemental burst as it drops to mess with the reactions that you set up for her, so this is a win-win solution. But for freeze com, Ganyu needs to always cast her elemental burst as soon as it is up. Not only that her elemental burst is one of the main damage output in a freeze com, but it's also a cryo applicator to set up freeze reactions because of how large her elemental burst AoE is. So in a freeze com, Hamayumi is still viable, but not that good, since not only the passive is useless in a quick swipe Ganyu, but the base attack is also low too. And that's where Prototype Crescent comes in. Prototype Crescent not only has a higher base attack than Hamayumi bow, but attacking enemies' weak spot increases your attack by 36% for the next 10 seconds at R1. The only caveat here is that you need to hit the enemy's weak spots. A lot of enemies have weak spots except for bosses, so the possibility of triggering the buff is high. The only problem lies in whether you can land the hit on the enemy's weak spots or not. Before we get into her weapons more, let's talk about her artifacts first. There are a few combinations for her artifact sets that you can use. First, we'll talk about the artifact sets for Melt Ganyu. The first one is a 4-piece Shimenawa. The reason why Shimenawa is one of the best sets for Melt Ganyu is because its 2-piece increases attack by 18%, and its 4-piece increases charge attack damage by a whopping 50%. This set is really insane on Melt Ganyu, but there's a trick to this. You need to cast your elemental skill only if you have more than 15 energies, as activating Shimenawa's passive requires 15 energies. This makes you unable to cast your elemental burst most of the time. And guess what? Hamayumi requires you to have the energy reserve at 100% at all times. You might argue that using Shimenawa will cost you 15 energies, thus you cannot unlock the full potential of Hamayumi's passive. But with a decent amount of energy recharge and battery, casting Ganyu's E skill can help you to return it back to 100%. Another option for her artifact set is to use 4-piece Wanderer's Troop. This is the best unconditional artifact set for Ganyu since it provides a constant 35% damage bonus to charge attack and also 80 elemental mastery, which is also good since it gives a boost to the reaction damage. Retracing Ball Light is also on par with 4-piece Wanderer's Troop, but it's only viable if you have a shielder such as Zhongli or Diona, since the 4-piece effect is active only if the character using it is protected by a shield. Both Wanderer's Troop and Retracing Ball Light don't cost any energy to activate the passive effect, unlike Shimenawa. So you can use either Hamayumi or Prototype Crescent if you're using these sets. Also, because it doesn't cost you any energy to activate it, you can cast your elemental burst whenever it's up, since Ganyu's elemental burst also deals a huge chunk of damage, and her Ascension 4 passive gives 20% cryo damage bonus to any party member that stands in the AoE, giving Ganyu another boost to her charge attack. For Freeze Ganyu, the best artifact set will be 4-piece Blizzard Slayer. Its 2-piece effect gives you a 15% cryo damage bonus, and its 4-piece gives you 40% crit rate boost on frozen enemies. This artifact set is meant for an off-field support Ganyu that casts her elemental burst, then switch out with the Hydro Replicator to freeze all the enemies within the AoE range of the elemental burst. Since you need to always cast your elemental burst as soon as it's up, Prototype Crescent is more favorable here than Hamayumi because it doesn't require any energy, and the charge attack buff from the Hamayumi is useless since Ganyu is only needed for her elemental burst, then switch out. So the conclusion here is, if you're playing Melt Ganyu, 4-piece Shimenawa is the best choice for you, followed by 4-piece Wanderer's Troop or 4-piece Retracing Ball Light. And the best weapon for Melt Ganyu depends on whether the enemy has any weak points or not. If it does, then using Prototype Crescent is way stronger than Hamayumi, but if it doesn't, then using Hamayumi might be better since it gives you half of the charge attack damage bonus. For Freeze Ganyu, the best artifact set is the 4-piece Blizzard Sprayer, and for the weapon, Prototype Crescent is more favorable here than Hamayumi because of the higher base attack stats, and Hamayumi's passive is basically useless on Freeze Ganyu. Since this is a hyper carry Ganyu guide, I'll only discuss Melt Ganyu team comps. Typically in the Melt Ganyu team comps, you need to have someone who can constantly apply pyro or field to the enemy. There are a few selections on who can fit this role, such as Xiangling, Xinyan, or Toma. But out of the three, Xiangling is the best option because of how large the AoE of her bursts are, and also deals a huge chunk of damage. But because of how expensive her burst is, you need to have a second pyro battery unit, and that is Bennett or Klee. I know that not everyone has Klee, not even me, so having Bennett as a pyro battery and also as a healer and attack buffer is a great addition. The last spot depends on your playstyle. Since Xiangling's burst requires you to play Ganyu in a close range, not having a shield character might be hard for you because Ganyu can easily be interrupted when she is charging her shot. So having a shielder such as Zhongli that can also reduce the elemental resistance is a great addition. Also, Toma and Xinyan is a great pyro shielder who can constantly apply pyro to the enemies. Diona might not be a great choice because casting her shield also fires icy missiles that can mess up your elemental reactions. You can also use another attack buffer in your last slot depending on whether you can dodge all the enemy's attack when charging, but you can also use characters such as Senhe who can boost your cryo damage output by a lot. Venti is also great with Ganyu because he can easily group up all the enemies and get the pyro swirl, giving Ganyu an easy target to hit her charge shot without getting any interruptions. Kazuha is also powerful, in fact the best by far for Melt Ganyu team comps, because he can easily do cryo swirl, and with his Ascension 4 passive, he can boost Ganyu's damage by a ton. Now I'll give you a showcase on how strong a C0 Ganyu with an F2P bow is. But before the showcase begins, I just want to say, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, you can leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer to any of the questions that you have. Enjoy the showcase, and I'll see you again next time.
Transfiguration!